Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Jar of Marble dwellers and Jar of Marble curious. My name is Linda and this is Jar of Marbles and I'm Bob. It's good to see you, Bob. Oh, but isn't it though? Yes, it is. This week, I'd like to talk a little bit about the beautiful hearts. The beautiful hearts of our world so often have not a clue how valuable they are, nor are interested in any kudos, recognition or praise. Salt of the earth, angels, people who are too good for this earth. Oh yes, Bob. I have had the absolute pleasure in my life meeting some of the most very kind-hearted people who have been, as I say, so kind and giving. Some of them have had no idea how valuable they are and are not interested in talking about it. It seems to almost embarrass them. I think no problem being modest, but when you can see that they are being used because they are kind-hearted and a peaceful type of person, it is a hard show to watch. And they seem to refuse to accept that the ones they love are actually using them. This seems like a very common story. It does. It is who they are married to or how their kids disregard them, how so-called friends make them wait for the simplest of favours. They cannot and will not extract themselves from their unhealthy connections long enough to see how better they would feel, or at least how bad they feel maybe. There are hearts in this world that move quietly, so quietly they go unnoticed. They are the ones that listen a little longer, forgive a little faster, and care without asking for anything in return. I tried to be a better person. I hated it. So it's back to being a feckin' so-and-so. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Oh, you gave it your best shot, Bob. Yeah, I did. That's right, yeah, I did. So these hearts don't always see themselves clearly. They measure their worth in what they haven't done or in how often they feel overlooked instead of recognising the immense value of who they are. Used to party in fields with random strangers, but too many people on aisle 7 now is a hard no. To be fair, too many people on aisle 7 has always been a hard no. Yeah, righto. A beautiful heart is not loud. It doesn't demand attention or applause. It shows up in small, consistent ways, in patience where it would be easier to walk away, in kindness when it isn't deserved, it would seem, in hope when everything seems heavy or feels heavy. We have all had a pure experience in one form or another. It gave me the chills? No, it gave me pause to think on those that had come into my life at times over many, many years. Some I still have in my life, some I never ever saw again. They just sort of appeared and had the purest heart and genuine care. And these hearts carry more than they should, yet still find space to hold others. I'm in my mind right now, I can think of people that I know, the most kindest, most giving people I'm so fortunate to know and have in my life. And people's kindness still takes me aback. It's a stunning thing to witness and receive. I don't try to hide my weird. I like to wave it around, It scares off the dull people and it's like a beacon for my fellow weirdos. Over here. Yeah, marble dwellers. You're a classic, Bob. Yeah, I hope so. So what makes them extraordinary is also what makes them unaware of their value. Surely they'd know. Often people are coming from a different perspective, Bob. So this is who they are, full stop. # survival of the beautiful hearts. Because giving feels natural to them. They assume it's ordinary because they love deeply. I'm thinking they think everyone does the same. They don't realise that what they offer so freely, in truth, is rare. Yeah, true that. Salt of the earth, people, marble dwellers, salt of the earth. The world leans on these hearts more than it admits. They soften sharp edges, mend quiet wounds, and create moments of light in places that might otherwise stay a little bit dark. I have friends who have extended such kindness, thoughtfulness that I'll never forget and always value to the highest. Those that come into your life and lift you up until you can do it yourself. Nice, yeah. Without them, things would feel colder, harsher, less human. I want someone to stand up at my funeral and say, hey, she didn't like you. Yeah. Yeah, to take out those fake ass people who have the nerve to show up at this type of service. I hear you. Yeah. If those hearts could see themselves in the way others feel them, if they could understand the steadiness they bring, the warmth they leave behind, they might finally recognise their worth. It's not something to question, it's something to protect. A woman with a salad walked past me in the restaurant and said, a cow died so you could eat that beef burger? I said, if I wasn't eating its food, it might have lived. It might have lived. Or bored it to death. Yeah. There are beautiful-hearted people in the world whose presence often goes unnoticed by those who fail to recognise the profound difference they make.
Oh, yeah.
They may not seek attention, recognition, praise, no, yet their kindness leaves lasting impressions on the lives that they touch.
Again, true, yeah.
These are the people who are intentional with their care.
Hey, you're riding a horse full speed. There's a giraffe next to you and a lion chasing you. What do? You get your drunk ass off the carousel. That's what you do. Yeah.
Wondered where you were going.
Yeah, I know.
So, the beautiful-hearted ones listen when others need to be heard, offer support without being asked, and show compassion in both the big moments and the small ones. Their kindness is not accidental. It is a conscious choice reflected in their words, actions, and the way they treat others.
So drinking at home instead of the bar isn't working out?
No?
I almost asked my wife for her phone number, yeah. Yeah, close.
Beautiful-hearted people understand that even the smallest gesture can bring comfort, hope, or encouragement.
That's for real. When you're heavy-hearted and kindness is unexpectedly given, it's quite a treat.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. They are mindful of the impact they have and strive to leave others feeling valued, respected,
seen,
yeah, cared for. Their generosity of spirit creates ripples that extend far beyond what they may ever see.
My problem-solving skills are good, but my problem-making skills now, that's where I shine.
Yes, Bob.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, right.
While some may overlook the significance of such qualities, the truth remains that beautiful-hearted people help make the world
a better place.
Yes, and gentler, warmer, and more humane.
Here we go. Us marble dwellers concur. We do.
Their thoughtfulness, empathy, and sincere concern for others are gifts that cannot be measured.
Yes, they are gifts as people, true.
Yet their influence is felt deeply by those fortunate enough to encounter them.
Never forgotten, always treasured.
Yes, I recall many dark moments when my husband was in hospital and nearing towards the end of his life. Of course, we didn't realise that at the time. And there was one lady in particular, I don't think she'll mind, I'll just say her first name, Erica, and extended such positivity, strength, prayers and kindness to us on a level that just stood out beyond anything that, you would expect to hear from most people on any given day, and made such a profound difference to not only my experience but my husband's experience as well. And that kind of kindness just stays with you for all time. And in a world that often celebrates the loudest voices, beautiful-hearted people like Erica remind us that genuine kindness, mindful compassion and intentional care are among the most powerful forces of all. So I know that you listen, Erica, so I just wanted to thank you.
Farting makes me laugh, and laughing makes me fart. Sometimes I can lose an entire day.
Thank you for that.
That's all right. Timing's everything, they say.
Oh, you're not wrong. Crikey. And maybe that's the quiet truth. The most valuable hearts are often the ones still learning they are invaluable.
I don't know what I'd do without coffee. I'm guessing 25 to life.
A day without coffee would require bail money, you think?
Yeah, so what do you think about it? What do you think?
Well, what makes beautiful-hearted people extraordinary is woven directly into the way they see the world, and that same perspective gently blinds them to their own worth, I think.
Oh, yeah, right.
They give without keeping score. Very special people, because kindness flows from them naturally. Doesn't feel like a special effort. It feels like the baseline.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that one, I think.
Hit the wrong button, Bob.
Might have, yeah.
Hashtag survival of the beautiful hearts. So when they offer patience, empathy or understanding, they often assume this is just what anyone would do, but it isn't. Many people hesitate, calculate or hold back. Beautiful-hearted people don't, and because they don't, I think they underestimate how rare that instinct really is.
I wish I could date me. I'm really everything I want in a person.
You really are a lovely disaster, Bob.
One day at a time, you impatient, sexy little freak.
Okay then.
Yeah.
So the beautiful-hearted minimise their impact, it could be said. They remember the moments they fell short far more vividly than the countless times they showed up for others. A single mistake can feel louder to them than years of quiet goodness. This isn't false modesty, it's a kind of emotional honesty that, without balance, turns into self-erasure.
It's their sweetness and inner true beauty, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. They're deeply attuned to others. They can read pain in a room, sense tension in a voice, and notice what goes unsaid.
I asked my wife to act like a naughty schoolgirl. She forged a note from her mother saying she didn't want to participate. Yeah, cheeky girl, yeah.
But that outward awareness often comes at the expense of inward recognition. They are so practiced at understanding others that they forget to extend that same understanding to themselves.
I'm done chasing people who aren't willing to do the same for me. After today, the ice cream man can go and get knotted.
You tell him, Bob.
Yeah, I will.
No.
Yeah.
They don't seek recognition, so they rarely receive it in a way that lands. Even when appreciation is given, they may deflect it or downplay it, believing they simply did what was expected.
Right, yeah.
So over time, this creates a quiet gap between how much they give and how much they allow themselves to receive.
Great to give, but you must look out for yourself. I think it's called balance.
That's right. And they carry this really quiet resilience. They endure, adapt, and keep going. And not because it's easy, but because they choose not to let hardship harden them.
Hey, we were having tea with my mother-in-law the other day, and out of the blue she said, I've decided I want to be cremated. And I said, all right, we'll get your coat.
Bob, why would you need her to get a coat, though? You're such a shocker.
Yeah, it's a gift, yeah.
Yet that strength often goes uncelebrated even by them. They see survival as necessity, not as evidence of remarkable inner strength. And perhaps most of all, they measure themselves by possibly, high standards of goodness.
Getting gas this morning, I noticed the person before me on pump 3 bought $10 worth. Where the hell were they going to go to? Pump 4?
Well, petrol's expensive.
Yeah, all right, okay.
But they don't just want to be kind, they want to be consistently kind, fair, understanding and gentle. And when they inevitably fall short of perfection, they question their worth, rather than recognising that their very striving is a part of what makes them rare.
There we go. That's right.
That's right, Bob. Good on you.
Hey, when I point my remote control directly at the television, it barely works. But if I accidentally sit on it, it'll switch from Foxtel to Netflix, turn closed captioning on and turn itself on and off 3 times. True story.
You might have hemorrhoids.
Yeah, not funny.
So the paradox remains the very qualities that make them extraordinary, selflessness, humility, empathy, quiet strength, also makes them less likely to step back and say, hey, what I am matters and what I give is significant. Well, I hope they know their value. I do.
Sometimes the thoughts in my head get bored and they go for a stroll straight through my mouth, and this really is a good thing.
You think?
Yeah.
And yet it makes you, Bob.
Yeah, true.
Their value doesn't diminish because they don't see it. If anything, it deepens.
Yeah, true.
But learning to recognise it, to hold their own heart with the same care they offer others, that is often their most important, maybe most difficult work.
Yes.
There are hearts in this world that move quietly, so quietly they almost go unnoticed.
Some people confuse passion with crazy.
Oh, yeah?
Let me be clear, I'm batshit passionate.
That you are, Bob.
Yeah, just in case anyone wondered.
Sure they don't.
Yeah.
They are the ones that listen a little longer, forgive a little faster, and care without asking for anything in return. People that insist on listening to you and truly are there, on solid ground, wanting to listen, they are rare. These hearts don't always see themselves clearly. They measure their worth in what they haven't done or in how often they feel overlooked, instead of recognising the immense gravity of what they are. A beautiful heart is not loud, doesn't demand attention or applause, shows up in small, consistent ways, and patience when it would be easier to walk away, in kindness when it isn't deserved, in hope when everything feels heavy. These hearts carry more than they should, yet still find space to hold others. Hashtag survival of the beautiful hearts. I like to look out for the beautiful-hearted and give them their acknowledgements. You know those times in life where it is extreme, where you find yourself in the most scariest place ever, and if you're really lucky and blessed, an angel will come. You not only feel seen and heard, but you feel like maybe, just maybe, you're going to be okay. And being maybe okay is a lot when all the chips have fallen. And what makes them extraordinary is also what makes them unaware of the value. Because giving love to people is just sort of natural to them. They assume it's ordinary because they love deeply. It's as though they think everyone does the same, and they don't realise that what they offer so freely is truly rare.
Yeah, rare.
The world leans on these hearts more than it admits.
And often forget them too, forgets what they do for you, what you did for them, yeah.
Yeah, for they soften sharp edges and mend quiet wounds and create moments of light in places that might otherwise stay dim.
Have you ever been at work for 5 hours and you check the clock and it's been like 38 minutes?
Yes, most definitely. So without them, things would feel colder, harsher, less human. And if those hearts could see themselves the way others feel them, if they could understand the steadiness they bring, the warmth they leave behind, they might also recognise their worth as not something to question, it's something to protect.
Hey, next time you call in sick, tell them you have anal blindness. If they ask what that is, just tell them you don't see your ass coming into work today. Yeah, that's right.
So, and maybe that's the quiet truth. The most valuable hearts are often the ones still learning that they are actually invaluable. Enlarge upon what makes beautiful-hearted people extraordinary is also what makes them unaware of their value, I guess. I can never say enough about the kind ones.
I'd be the first person to die in a horror film. I refuse to spend my last minutes running. Below that.
Oh, may I have the strength of my strongest chin here. Yeah. So what makes beautiful-hearted people extraordinary is woven directly into the way they see the world, and that same perspective gently blinds them to their own worth.
Hey, a police recruit was asking during an exam, what would you do if you had to arrest your own mother? And the reply was, call for backup.
So when they offer patience, empathy or understanding, they often assume this is just what anyone would do, but it isn't. Many people hesitate, calculate or hold back. Can't be bothered. Beautiful-hearted people don't, and because they're openly there for you, they make themselves so available for you.
I was thinking, if someone threw a rock and knocked you off your donkey, would you be considered stoned off your ass?
You're right, eh?
Yeah, but would you?
Yeah, probably. So my observation has been that a single mistake can feel louder to them than years of quiet goodness. This isn't false modesty. It's a kind of emotional honesty that, without balance, could very easily turn into self-erasure.
My superpower is holding on to junk for years and then throwing it out a week later, a week after. Well, you know what I mean. You know, you throw it out and the week later you need it.
Yes, I know. Oh, I love you, Bob.
Yeah, I love you too and all that, yeah.
So they are deeply attuned to others. There's no doubt about that. They can read pain in a room.
What a skill, read a room.
Yeah, I know. They can sense tension in a voice, notice what goes unsaid. They are so practiced at understanding others. And they don't seek recognition, so they really receive it in a way that lands. They are an elite breed. Even when appreciation is given, they may deflect it or downplay it.
Their humbleness is what gets me.
Yeah, they do what would be expected in extreme situations. They don't flinch.
When I was young, I was poor, but after years of hard, honest and painstaking work, I'm no longer young.
It's a little bit like that for some, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's for me. Yeah.
So they carry a quiet resilience. They endure, adapt and keep going, not because it's easy, but because they choose not to let hardship harden them.
Protect the beautiful hearts.
So that strength often goes uncelebrated even by them. They see survival as necessity, not as evidence of remarkable inner strength.
Sometimes you look at people and you wonder, how do they fit all that stupid into one head?
Right.
Yeah, right, I know you know.
And so perhaps most of all, they measure themselves by impossibly high standards of goodness. They don't just want to be kind, they simply are consistently kind, thoughtful, fair, understanding and gentle.
Hey, do you ever wake up, kiss the person sleeping beside you and feel glad that you're alive? I just did and apparently will not be allowed on this airline again.
Bob.
What?
So the paradox remains, the very qualities that make them extraordinary, selfless, with such humility, quiet strength. We hope that they step back and say, what I am matters and what I give is significant. Their value doesn't diminish.
Yay!
So if anything, it deepens. But learning to recognise it, to hold their own heart with the same care they offer of others, that is often their most important and most difficult work.
For many of us, yeah.
Yes, Bob. Many of us, if we're fortunate, can point to moments in our lives where we cross paths with people whose hearts seem to carry a different kind of light.
Yeah, I mean, like, who cares if I gained weight? It's not like I'm asking you, to carry me.
That's right, yes. True.
Yeah.
So these are the friends who stayed when things were messy, not just when life was easy.
The best of the best.
The ones who listened without trying to fix everything, who made space for your thoughts without judgment, who remembered the small details you didn't think anyone noticed.
Yeah.
Their presence felt steady, picking up pieces like something you could lean on without fear of it slipping away.
We just don't tar and feather people anymore, and it shows.
You've been thinking about that, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
So these beautiful-hearted people, they show patience when they're tired or choose understanding when it would be easier to react. You don't just hear about their goodness, you see it again and again in ordinary moments. And to have been on the receiving end of that kind of heart, there's a quiet impact that just stays with you.
If you could read my mind, you'd either be traumatised or turned on. Both, if you're awesome.
So maybe it was a time when you felt lost and someone believed in you without hesitation. Maybe it was forgiveness you didn't expect or support you didn't think you deserved. Maybe a loved one is terminally ill. Those moments tend to settle deep. They reshape how you see yourself and sometimes even how you move through the world. So they don't catalogue their kindness or anything like that or expect to be repaid. Often they move on as if it were nothing, while for someone else it was everything.
Yes, true.
If you've known even one person like that, you've experienced something profoundly valuable. And if you've recognised it, even quietly, it tends to change you. It raises the standard for what you believe is possible in people.
Yes, I love that. How true. Yes.
So, for those who are kind souls, I know a few of you out there listening, and I know you're sweeter than sweet. You're so kind, so beautiful. Erica, this episode is dedicated to you, to your strength of spirit, going through so much and still have presence for others. I most certainly will never forget your kindness, a lifelong friend, I hope, and I guess, as I can only say, what a gift. And so that's the end of this episode, and sending love to the beautiful hearts. You are loved and valued.
Yes.
So say good day to the family for me, give the elephant a spud, and we'll see you next time, okay? Okay then, bye.
Bye!